I'm Jeff Hunt. He's Bill Thorpe. It's Thursday. That song brought to you by Kelly Michaels. if you got an issue, he's the guy to talk to about it. But people love it. That sticks. My kids walk around the house going, waking up with Jeff and Bill. That's all Kelly Michaels and his brilliant radio history and experience bringing that together. All right, we've got a lot this hour. Janak Joshi joins us live in studio as he seeks to challenge Johnny Boy Hickenlooper, 73. He had a weird ad that made for a lot of conversation on the show recently when he was with his young son, and people were going, his son? Not his grandson? No, he had a baby at 70. He had a baby at 70. So there you go. We've got a lot to cover. By the way, I would be remiss. Follow DEA Rocky Mountain on X. Be sure to follow them there for more information on how you can work for the DEA. And if you want to be a part of their upcoming Citizens Academy, follow DEA Rocky Mountain on X. And you can also give Stephen Tubbs a hard time. Very good direction to do that. All right. We are now going to get to the news with Blake Olson.
Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, news and comment.
Good morning. It's Thursday, 42 and sunny in Denver as you listen to the Jeff and Billy show. Expecting a high of 60 today. News sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at 303-777-1234 to learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story, Iranian officials say a protester who was reported to be facing execution has not been sentenced to death. NBC's Keir Simmons reports that Iran's judiciary made that claim after the scheduled execution of the 26-year-old was postponed.
That was after his family had said they feared that he was hours away from execution. President Trump saying that one of the reasons that he has pressed pause on a strike on Iran is because it is said there will not be executions of protesters.
The man was believed to be the first Iranian protester to be given a death sentence since the current unrest began in late December. The UN Security Council is expected to meet today to discuss the crisis unfolding in Iran. A briefing on the situation was requested by the U.S. Jeff Crank, rep from Colorado, was on this morning with Jeff.
The world would be better off if these mullahs were not in power. They were gone. They're terrible to the people of Iran, first and foremost. And so we want to help the good people who want freedom and liberty in Iran. And I think the president is doing that. I don't know what the tact will be, but he has lots of opportunities and lots of options at his disposal.
Crank says whatever we do, we can't leave the Iranian people hanging like Barack Obama did in 2009. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent just a few minutes ago.
U.S. Treasury knows that like rats in a sinking ship, you're frantically wiring funds stolen from Iranian families to banks and financial institutions around the world. Rest assured, we will track them and you. But there's still time if you choose to join us. As President Trump has said, stop the violence and stand with the people of Iran.
47 says he may invoke the Insurrection Act in Minnesota as protests over ICE operations continue. DJT said that he'll take action, quote, if the corrupt politicians of Minnesota don't obey the law and stop the professional agitators and insurrectionists from attacking the patriots of ICE. The president will meet with Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado at the White House today. His relationship with Machado has become somewhat complicated since the U.S. arrested Maduro. DJT said Machado, quote, doesn't have the support within or the respect within the country, adding that, quote, she's a very nice woman, but she doesn't have the respect. If you live in northern Colorado, Xcel may cut off your electricity again tomorrow to prevent wildfires due to the high winds. This won't be a good day if this happens.
Too much wind. Too
That's
much
right.
wind. We need wind for power, but not too much.
Get those windmills going. It could affect 9,000 customers in Weld and Larimer counties.
So that if something comes in contact with our overhead facilities, it will stop the flow of electricity.
My
nuclear.
Yeah, there you
It's
go.
the future.
Exactly. My 15-year-old, you know what he said? He said, if we don't have school tomorrow, that's it. I mean, this is the first time he's ever said this. Yeah, well, when they close school because of this, because of no electricity, he's out of school. Typically, your kids, my kids, they're excited, they're thrilled. But the last time they did it, man, he hated being home without any electricity. So he's going to be reading a lot of books tomorrow if it happens. So that was the Colorado director, Andrew Holder, who you just heard.
You know what's crazy about where we are? We're out in the sticks.
Yeah.
And we live off of well water, so no power, no water. That's a lot of issues for Eastern Plains families.
Absolutely. That's it. That is a huge, probably the number one issue with everyone east of the Front Range, right? Well, actually, what am I saying? The entire state. But you're right. You really have to, when you live where you live, that is a big deal. Absolutely. Tina Peters in a Colorado appellate court on Wednesday. She's serving her cruel 9-year sentence. Chris Murray, 1st and 14th Law, in the studio this morning with Jeff to help us understand all of this. Anything could happen, but Jeff with a great question to Chris. Could Tina be let out of jail tomorrow?
They could. Yeah. I don't think that's terribly likely. Because, again, Ms. Peters' team is not saying she didn't commit the crime, right? They're saying, they're saying she shouldn't have been convicted, right? But what they're saying is, look, like, we think the sentence is way too harsh, all right? And sentencing is where judges have just about the most discretion. You commit a crime, as long as it's within what the law prescribes, judges can basically do whatever they want unless they violate the Constitution.
We can only pray. Broncos and Bills continue preparation for Saturday's game. 2:30 kickoff at Mile High as the playoffs underway in the NFL. John Harbaugh is going to be the new head coach of the Giants. And how about the Nuggets? They continue to win as Nikola Jokic works to return 118-109 over the Mavs, and Jamal Murray 33 points. 40 in Arvada, 41 in Centennial, 42 in Denver. You're waking up with Jeff and Bill on a Thursday. Blake Olson, News Talk 710 KNUS.
It's going to be mostly sunny to partly sunny and mild, getting a little bit breezy, though, by afternoon. Highs upper 50s and low 60s. Windy and colder tonight. A cold front comes in tonight. Gusty northwest winds, lows mid-20s. It'll be colder tomorrow. Upper 30s and low 40s with cold and gusty north and northwest winds. Colder Friday night, teens and low 20s. Partly cloudy and cool Saturday. Will stay in the mid to upper 30s. Down to the 20s Saturday night, warming back to the 50s for Sunday. Cooler Monday. Meteorologist Don Day in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. You've heard from two of the other candidates in the primary against John Hickenlooper for the Republican nomination. We're now hearing from our third Republican challenging, hoping to send John Hickenlooper on to something else. People don't realize how much Colorado politics has been influenced by this guy. He's been in office for 20 years. He was the mayor of Denver, governor of Colorado, U.S. senator. I don't think he's ever lost an election. And then his chief of staff was Michael Bennet. So Michael Bennet goes on to become a U.S. senator from John Hickenlooper's chief of staff. These two dorks, as I like to talk to him about, have controlled Colorado politics a combined 40-plus years. It's time for both of them to find a new job, and one of them that wants to challenge him is Janak Joshi, live in studio. Good morning, Janak. Thank you for taking time to join the Jeff and Bill Show.
Good morning, Jeff. It's good to have in the studio.
I always love you. You come by, which we always appreciate more than the phone or Zoom interviews because we get to spend more time together. But give folks a little bit of your background. You served in office before, but you're also a doctor.
Yes. So for those who don't know me, my name is Janak Joshi, and I am a retired physician. I practiced in Colorado Springs for 30 years. And after I retired in 2010, I was elected to the Colorado State House. The interesting fact about that is I'm the only candidate in this race who has served with Hickenlooper.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was elected as a governor in 2010. I was elected to the House, and we served for 6 years. So I know him well. I have carried bills that he didn't like it. I carried bills that he didn't like it. And there were bills that we both liked it. So I know him a lot better than any other candidate in this race, at least right now. So I think that's why I feel that I'm a little more credible to fight if Hickenlooper becomes the nominee of the Democrat Party.
Yeah, and he's getting a challenge from the left as well. The Democrat Socialists think John Hickenlooper's too moderate. So, gosh, the Democrat Party's heading that direction. But let's talk Republican primary. You're up against Mark Baisley as well as Sean Pond. Why are you better than those two?
It's, I think, all going to boil down to two things. Number one is the experience and the knowledge, and who can sustain financially all the way to the general election. I have enough knowledge being a doctor in the healthcare. I'm an entrepreneur. I had my own practice. I started with practically nothing, and here I am. So I have achieved the American dream, which is sleeping away right now. Somebody who has achieved it, he's a lot better understanding it, how to make it continue for our future generation. Because I think this election is very pivotal. If we don't do anything and lose this election, I don't know what the future of our next generation will be, future of the Colorado will be, particularly at the federal level. I'm also legal immigrant, so I know a little bit about immigration.
Tell folks where you're from.
I was born and raised in India, and then I immigrated here. I did all my training in New York City, and then moved to Colorado Springs. Yeah. And started the practice. Initially joined the group, but then I just had that entrepreneur, typical immigrant feelings, and I then went on my own and took the chance. I had clinics here in Colorado Springs. I also had offices and dialysis center in Trinidad and Colorado Springs. Actually, I was the only nephrologist who owned his own dialysis center in the whole Rocky Mountain region. Wow. Because dialysis is completely a corporate business. There are three major companies that own everything. But I survived all the way. And then this country gave me all these opportunities. So that's why I eventually jumped in the politics, because I want to serve the country and our people. So nobody has asked me to run. I'm running because I want to serve the people, you the people, and my future generation. Mm-hmm. And as I kept saying that when you have grandkids, your whole mentality changes. Because now you don't do things for you. So I think that's why I feel very confident. Right now, as you know, there are 3 main issues which are popping up. One is the economy, because everybody is concerned about what's going to happen, whether people are going to lose their jobs or whether they can afford what they are trying to do. So as an entrepreneur who has dealt with a lot of government rules and regulations and all that, I'm quite familiar with that. Number 2 is going to be healthcare. I mean, we already know the premiums are going to be significantly high. I started my practice when it was 100% fee for service. Very simple. People used to even bring to our office chicken and things like that. They would barter. But today a doctor cannot do that.
Right. No,
government
it's too
says it's illegal.
Yep. Yep. No, and I try to remind younger people that that's how some used to pay their doctors, with chickens and eggs.
Yeah.
And doctors were fine with that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I had no problem. I mean, we were not, of course, everybody wants to make a little bit of money, and you have debts to pay back for your medical school and things like that. But it doesn't mean that you don't serve. I mean, one of the reasons we all go in medicine is not just the money. It is because we have that like a fire in our belly to serve the people. And that fire is still in my belly. To serve the people.
I want to ask you kind of about the history, because you've been in office before, but you faced some challenges since then. 2016, you ran against Larry Liston as a. That's fine. Please take it anytime you need. But you ran against Larry Liston in a primary, lost that in 2016. It looks like you ran for city council in 17, lost. You ran against Gabe Evans in the primary in 2024, endorsed by Dave Williams in the Republican Party, but that didn't come together either. How do you win this one and not just become kind of like a perennial candidate?
And that's a very valid point here. But again, in politics, as you know, you win and you lose. But as long as your principles remains the same, and sometimes it depends on the environment, what is going on at that time. The issues change. People may have different thinking. So there are a lot of things changes. This time, but as I said, my principles have never changed, and I haven't ran for money or fame, and that's the same thing right now. It has always been the service, and it's the same right now. So my original principles, which are more or less the Republican Party principles of smaller government, lower taxes, less regulations, and as a physician, sanctity of life is also very important to me. And from day one, those have always been the same. And being on the business side, so I just leave it to the people. If they think that I am the right candidate, then support me, elect me. If I don't win, my wife is very happy.
And this is something I appreciate you, because I've worked in politics in the U.S. Senate, and there are some people that cannot live without being elected office. There's one, Arlen Specter was one of these guys who loses his seat as a Republican, runs as an independent, loses, runs as a Democrat, loses, and then dies like 2 weeks later. He just couldn't, there was no world outside of his ability to be an elected official. You're kind of like, well, I'm up for it. If the people choose, that's great. If not, I've got other things to do, as you mentioned, grandchildren. Help me understand what happened with the medical license issue.
Yeah.
What I see online is that you lost your medical license. Is that what happened?
Right. And it was a frivolous complaint that was filed by the hospital. There was no basis for it. We fought. And my lawyer had told me, he said, Janak, we will win this case, but it may cost you over $100,000. Why don't you keep the money? And if you can retire, then that's better for you. And we did it.
So your contention is that whatever the complaint was, which I don't have in front of me, I just see the headlines here, but that it was a frivolous complaint, and rather than battle and lose money with legal, you were at the end of your career, you're like, I'll just retire at this point.
And that's exactly what happened. And even in the final report, the board said that I had provided adequate care. But once, as you know, I mean, since then I kind of looked at President Trump, that how much they went after him when there was no basis for any of those things. Only thing was Trump had a lot of money, I didn't. And so for my point of view, take the money and don't spend it. And that's exactly what we did. We have been enjoying life. And I am one of those. God has meant something for me. And if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. If it's not going to happen, I have something else meant for me.
Are you a Christian?
No, I'm from Hindu faith.
Hindu faith, okay, gotcha.
But I respect all religion, as we have the freedom of religion in this country. And actually, I have supported all of them. As a matter of fact, I was in 2011 when we formed a Bible caucus on the in the legislature. I was one of the founding members too.
Wow.
Because I respect...
I find that interesting, because I don't run into, in the pro-life movement, I don't run into Hindus all that often.
And then I used to go every Tuesday morning and attended the Bible class that Dan File used to come in and do it. I think I was one of those who regularly attended, because I always liked to learn about all religion. Growing up in India, we had holidays on all religions, so I know about every religion.
Which state are you from in India?
I'm from Gujarat state in India.
Yeah. So I used to represent persecuted Christians. And when tensions flared up in Orissa between Hindu nationalists and Christians, that was something that we worked on to protect Christians' rights. Because help me understand the relationship in India between Hindus and Christians, because Hinduism has changed a little bit. It's gotten a lot more nationalistic, to where if you're a Christian in India, you're not really seen as a true Indian.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
I mean, we have every religion, because India legally has no state religion. Yeah. So every religion and every religious holidays are actually celebrated. It's a government holidays, every one.
Interesting.
And for me personally, actually, because we love to travel, that's why I said I have life after politics. I have been to all over the world. I've been to 122 countries, all 7 continents. Last year at
When did you go to Antarctica?
I have been there twice. Last year at this time.
What took you to Antarctica?
Last year at this time, we were floating in Antarctica.
Just on like a cruise ship, or
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
No in-depth studies into penguins or anything like that.
Oh well, actually, first time we didn't do a lot of that, but last year when we were there, the cruise company actually had a expedition team, and we were actually doing all the studies.
Really?
On the ship, they were testing the water, they were checking on the birds. So you actually not just go and float around, you learn a lot. I'll give you a very simple example. They had 2 submarines, small. It only takes 6 people. So they took the submarine down there. My wife went in it, and she took some pictures, and one of the pictures they saw looked like a jellyfish, probably had a 50 feet long tentacle. And they asked them, what is that? And they said, we had never seen that thing before, ever. So
did she discover a new species?
I mean, not her, but I mean, there were other. So actually, they had to send the picture somewhere to find out what it was. And the funny thing was, they said, "Oh, it's an Antarctic jellyfish." I said, "Oh, that's very generic."
They should have a better name. The Joshi.
I'm sure
the Joshi
they have,
jellyfish.
I'm sure they would have that.
That's-
But yeah, so talking about issues again on that, whether it's a foreign policy or it would be environment, I mean, I'm ready. So you ask why I'm better than others. So you will bring any topic, I'm ready.
Well, I think a lot of people would be better than John Hickenlooper and ready, but I'm intrigued to talk with you about the money battles that could be ahead between you and John Hickenlooper as he pulls in millions of dollars. How can Republicans compete against it? Janak Joshi live in studio with us, challenging John Hickenlooper for the U.S. Senate seat. We'll continue our conversation with him. Let's talk advanced hair restoration. How about a simple New Year's resolution, one that even I could achieve? Reverse the clock on hair loss with Advanced Hair's simple one-day FUE treatment. You'll feel more confident and more youthful when you witness your own natural hair growing into those places that have been balding or thinning for years. From Advanced Hair's breakthrough technology to their highly experienced team, there's no one I trust more in hair restoration. Their simple FUE treatment begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day, and your new hair is backed by the Advanced Hair Guarantee. Simply put, Advanced Hair's exceptional standard of care makes your comfort and your results their top priority. Celebrate this new year with a fuller head of hair and get a free consultation. $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Call 720-459-HAIR. That's 720-459-HAIR. Discover what meeting your resolution could look like with the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com. That's advancedhair.com. Is John Hickenlooper beatable? How can we match the millions of dollars coming in to support him? Janak Joshi is going to have his plan next. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show, Denver's News Talk Leader, 710 KNUS. Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. Live in studio with us is Janak Joshi. He's ready to retire. Johnny Boy Hickenlooper. It's about time that Johnny took a stroll away from public life. He owned a brewery. He was a mayor, governor, Colorado. You don't like the direction of Colorado? Well, there's really just two guys to blame on that one. Jared Polis and John Hickenlooper. They've been around forever. Michael Bennett, too. It seems like we elect pale, male, and stale in this state. Those are those three guys, right? Maybe it's time to switch it up. And Janak Joshi, who has served in the State House before, now running to challenge John Hickenlooper. He's running for the Republican nomination. Janak, you've been to lots of different countries as well, including Greenland. Is it ready? Are you ready for Greenland? Would you support Greenland being America's 51st state?
Yes, I have been to Greenland. Actually, I spent almost 2 weeks over there. And it's a beautiful country, lots of glaciers. People are very nice. The towns are very, very tiny.
There's 56,000 people there in the entire country.
Right. Yeah. So one of the town we had visited, it gets shut down. I mean, they get their last shipment somewhere in September, and then nobody goes there until about April of the other year. So kids go to school in dark, they come home in dark, and it's dark all day long. It's a very different country, and I think it's very, very strategic, and from the political point of view. So it would be nice. We have some sort of presence over there, a little more than what we have currently with that one military base. And the way the world is going, I think we have to be prepared for China and Russia.
Yeah. And, I think that's the reason why. Now, to give you people context, Arvada is bigger than the entire population of Greenland. Should Trump just take military troops and seize it?
I think he's smart enough. Probably he says something, but he has good team. So I'm sure something will be worked out. We probably will have another ally over there too.
Yeah, that's Janak Joshi. He's live in studio. Give us your read on ICE and the debates that are happening. Renee Nicole Good, was that a justified shooting? The woman in Minnesota.
As a immigrant, I am all for law and order. When we come here, we want to make this country our home. And I've been here over 50 years now. We have kids, grandkids who were born here. We are almost assimilated. Just to give you the example, my granddaughter, she has been playing ice hockey and baseball since she was about 8 or 9 years old. My grandson, he is a baker. He has his own company that he sells the French macaroons online, and he was on the Kids Baking Championship on Food Network. He went all the way for all the 10 episodes when he was only 13 years old.
Wow.
So
impressive. Why do Indian families do so well in America?
And I think everything we talked, and I was just sitting here listening about the drug issues with our other friend here. I think it's a cultural. Indians and a lot of immigrant families, I'm sure whoever came in your family first, it was all family oriented. We wanted to make sure our children better than us. And I think if you do that and the family is taking enough interest in their kids, we won't have to worry about drugs or any other problem, because children will come and talk to you. Not only that, you are observing your children, what they are doing.
Oh, do you think Indians are facing reverse discrimination from the left? Like what we've seen in Harvard, for instance, where you guys are like too successful? You have too good of families, so now we're going to actually like keep you out?
Well, they have done it to not just Indians, but even to other
like Asians.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I have found this fascinating where I'm like, just fill Harvard with Asian and Indian kids. Yeah. I don't care. Like, you kidding me? Put them all together. They're going to come up with something that's going to make my life way better. Like, why are we keeping them out?
And again, when they come out after graduation, I mean, they contribute to the society so much.
Exactly.
Actually, our country is so big. God has been great to United States of America. We have a lot of resources and all this. And I think we have to use it in the right way. And what Harvard and all these Ivy Leagues started to do, instead of going to the STEM, they were going to liberal arts, and kids were coming out with debt and no jobs.
Right. So, well, that, and they were just racist.
Right.
Right. Like, if you're like, well, this person, because of their race, even though they perform more poorly, we're going to elevate them over Indian and Asian kids because they do too well on tests. It's just crazy to me. Again, fill these elite schools. I don't care what your nationality is. Fill them with the smartest people. Let them all work together because I'm going to benefit. I don't have a problem with it.
And again, I mean, just to correct you, it is not what nationality. These kids were Americans. Okay, they were born here and raised here, so these are American kids, and so there is no issue. It was just whatever they were doing was wrong, and I'm glad Trump got after them.
Yeah, we're talking with Janak Joshi. He's live in studio with us as he's challenging John Hickenlooper. Janak, give folks your website if they want to learn more about you.
It is www.janakjoshiforcolorado.com.
And that is spelled JANAK
for Colorado.com.
Let's talk the money battle that you would face with John Hickenlooper. Look, it's not everything, but it's a lot. How much money have you raised so far, and can you challenge the millions of dollars that Hickenlooper's had?
So the numbers will come out. We are just putting final numbers together, but we have raised just shy of $500,000. We already have
just shy of 500,000.
Yes, and we have in the bank sitting over somewhere in the 300,000 range right now. I have been only in this race for about 5-6 months, so I think we are now going to push. Everybody was so busy with the November elections and everything else, and everybody was paying attention to the gubernatorial. So as you know, I mean, the U.S. Senate race has been under the radar. I go to a lot of meetings. I've been to about 15 counties, over 45 meetings, like Women's Club, Men's Club, Lincoln Day dinners, executive committees, and all that. So I've been going all over the state.
Tell me about your donors. Are they big ones? Are they corporate PACs? Are they small dollars?
We have over 5,500 people who have donated to us.
That's impressive.
I have hundreds of people from Colorado too, and I have at least one donor from all 50 states.
That's big news, Janak.
Thank you.
That is very big news. Impressive, going up against the machine that's going to be behind John Hickenlooper.
So once people see that I am the only viable candidate in this race, hopefully more people will donate. We would love to have even small donation, $20, $25, $100, whatever. And if I become the nominee of the party, I will fight. I think we should get support then from Washington, D.C., or maybe even President Trump will endorse me, because he needs somebody who is an immigrant to stand with him. Because now he's doing a lot of stuff, but in our Congress or Senate and other people, there are no immigrants standing with him who understands it. And hopefully I will be the one who will tell them that, hey, guys, this is not the right thing. I mean, we have laws. When I came to this country, we had to go to the consulate, apply there, or embassy. We had to have a personal interview. We had to have a medical exam. I had to have a blood test. I had to have a chest x-ray. When I arrived to this country with a little x-ray folders, if you remember, the old yellow folders,
Make chest X-rays great again for immigration.
And then it was actually sealed, so the immigration officer was the only one who could open it before he would let me in. I mean, this is how, and on top,
and it worked.
Oh,
It's not
absolutely.
mean. It's just people looking out
and
for
not
their
only
best
that, on
interest.
top of that, we had to have somebody who would say as a affidavit that I would not become a burden to the state for 2 years. That person had to have a letter of employment, a bank letter that how much money they had in their bank. And this was the process. And this process is still there, but nobody's following the laws.
And how many daycares did you open up?
I think my wife opened a daycare at home for my 2 daughters.
That's it. Well, you missed out on a lot of money, Janak Joshi. All right, Janak Joshi's live in studio with us. We'll continue the conversation. Let's talk Dan Caplis with Dan Caplis Law. Dan suggests that you should choose a lawyer who shares your values, because who you choose to represent in an injury case is going to say a lot about you to everyone involved in the case. Look, there's a lot of hucksters and weird defense attorneys out there. That's not Dan Caplis. Dan is a man of tremendous faith, deeply rooted in his love for God, in his commitment to the people of Colorado. He has gotten 40 years of justice for people in Colorado. He has delivered on some of the biggest cases here. Dan is believed to be the only lawyer in Colorado history to win 5 straight multi-million-dollar verdicts in Colorado crash cases. Dan is also believed to have won the largest truck crash verdict in Colorado state history. Dan Caplis Law, the official law firm partner of the Denver Nuggets and the Colorado Avalanche. Dan Caplis Law is a serious firm for serious cases. Dan accepts righteous injury cases on a percentage fee basis so that he can represent good people from all walks of life without regard to ability to pay. So if you need Dan's help, give him a call. Here's the phone number, 303-770-5551. 303-770-5551, or hit dancaplisLaw.com. That's Dan, CAPLIS Law.com. We'll continue our conversation with Janak Joshi. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show, Denver's News Talk Leader, 710 KNUS. Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. Billy out today. He'll be back tomorrow. Don't worry. Here's my just regular PSA for all the white liberal women out there today.
As a Latino, we appreciate your empathy. Okay, we really do. But I'm telling you right now, if the shoe was on the other foot, Latinos are not getting between you and federally armed agents to save you. All right? Like if ICE tomorrow starts deporting short-haired white women with septum piercings, you're on your own. All right? Like you're never going to hear Jose like, hey, you put that woman down. You leave Nadine alone. She has a cat and a one-bedroom apartment. You take her back to her yoga studio, fool.
Just your regular PSA if you want to go interrupt federal law enforcement operations that I don't think the immigrants are going to return the favor, in part because they're smarter than you, to put themselves in between you and somebody with a gun and a mission. Joining us live in studios, Janak Joshi is running to challenge John Hickenlooper for the U.S. Senate seat. I'm hard-pressed to find anything that John Hickenlooper's done that warrants to keep him in office. I mean, let's go back to being mayor or governor. The dude's been in for 20-plus years. I can't tell you anything he's actually solved.
Yeah, well, as I mentioned, I mean, in 6 years, actually, if anybody wants to go back and look at my track record, and that's what I always say, I'm here, what you see is what you will get. I mean, I do my walk and talk, both same. So he had a lot of stuff. One of the things which a lot of people don't want to talk about is a hospital provider fee. Actually, I brought the bill to kill it, and our own Republican friends told me to get rid of it, and I actually killed the bill in myself in the committee, even though we were in that. But he was stealing over $200 million to balance the budget, which was illegal against Tabor. We actually brought a lawsuit, and we would have won because I had all the evidence that hospital provider fee, and it's a whole different topic. If you want to, I would love to come and talk about it. The other bill I carried is they have lobbyists in the state government, if you knew or not. Every department has a lobbyist. And so I brought a bill that all these lobbyists should be gotten rid of because they all were his cronies, basically. And I had a bill, and it was so funny because Sean Boyd did a TV story on that day, and she brought the video to show me where Hickenlooper was laughing because he knew that was just payback to his cronies. And so, I mean, I brought the bills, which were really, he didn't like because I was exposing him. And we'll do it more. I'm sure he's listening or his things, and get ready for it if I'm the nominee. We have the ammunition ready to fire.
Wow, that's Janak Joshi ready to challenge John Hickenlooper. Send John into retirement. Appreciate your time today. Thank you for joining the Jeff and Bill Show. Billy will be back tomorrow. The debate will be back, as you always anticipate and want to be a part of. We'll be back tomorrow. You've been listening to the Jeff and Bill Show, Denver's News Talk leader, 710.